You ever walk into a place you own and get treated like you don't even belong there? That's what happened to me on a Tuesday morning in early spring, the kind of morning where the air is crisp, the sun's just warm enough to flirt with your jacket collar, and your coffee tastes like it actually might fix the world. I pulled into the small town of Crestfield, Missouri, population just shy of a weekend festival. The kind of town with 2 stoplights and a main street that hasn't changed since the 80s. I was there on business, quiet business, no press, no fanfare, just a routine check-in on the bank we'd acquired the Friday before. A chain of 24 branches now under Hartley Capital Group. Mine. I walked into Crestfield First Bank at exactly 9:03 a.m., 3 minutes after opening. No assistant, no briefcase, no corporate badge. Just me, my structured black tote, and the confidence of someone who's walked through fire and came out with receipts. I wore navy slacks, a silk blouse, gold hoops barely catching the morning light. I didn't need to dress loud to be heard. But the moment I stepped in, the silence hit different. There were 3 staff visible from the door, a front desk guy who looked like he was half awake, a teller with a tight blonde bun and sharper lipstick, and an older gentleman with salt and pepper hair, flipping through a manila folder like the day hadn't started yet. No one said hello. No eye contact. I stood there long enough for a motion sensor light to flicker back on. When another woman walked in white, pink trench coat, designer sunglasses too big for the season, the receptionist practically sprang to life. "Good morning, ma'am. What can we help you with today?" I almost laughed. Almost. I made my way to the business desk slowly, politely waited my turn. When I spoke, I said, "Hi. I'm here to review the transition documents for the business accounts. I called yesterday. Devin should have been available this morning." The teller, Shelby, per the name tag, she barely tilted my way, didn't look up. "You'll need an appointment for that," she muttered, tapping her keyboard like it owed her money. I replied calmly. "I was told between 9 and noon would be fine. I just want to make sure things are in order before Friday." She gave a clipped laugh. "Well, Devin's not in yet. You can wait over there." No offer to page someone. No effort. Just a flick of her chin toward a trio of hard plastic chairs. I sat, crossed my legs, took a deep breath. The lobby filled with other customers, khakis and polos, dads with retirement questions, young couples opening accounts, and every one of them got greeted, helped, welcomed. I watched Shelby laugh with a man she called Coach. I watched the older teller wave off a mistake with a charming joke. I watched them glance at me like I was lost, like I was waiting for someone who was never coming. And that's when it hit me, I wasn't angry. I was exhausted. Not from travel, not from work. From this feeling. That subtle, suffocating dismissal that clings to you when people don't see you. Or worse, when they think they do, but they're only seeing what they expect. A black woman, alone, waiting quietly in a bank lobby, must be a client with the wrong paperwork. Certainly not the one who owns the damn building. 15 minutes passed. Then 20. Then 25. At 9:27, I got a text from Ellis, my COO. "Everything smooth at the Crestfield branch?" I stared at it for a long moment. I could have lied. Said, "All good." Moved on. Like I've done before. But something in me said, "Not today." I typed back, "Give me 10 minutes. Then, right on cue, I heard Shelby mutter under her breath to the other teller, "She's still sitting there, not even dressed for the suite." And the man chuckled. Yeah, some people think having a business card makes them the boss. My ears burned, but I didn't flinch. I stood up, slow and steady, and walked back to the counter. "Excuse me," I said, level but firm. "Has Devin arrived yet?" Shelby glanced up with that same practiced smile. "Still not in. I told you we'll call you when someone's ready." I nodded. "Then I'll speak to whoever is available." She turned back to her screen without responding. I turned back to my chair, but I didn't sit. Not this time. I walked toward the hallway marked business offices. That's when a younger employee, headset, tablet in hand, stepped into my path. "Ma'am, can I help you?" I smiled slightly. "I'm looking for Devin, or someone in his role." She hesitated, then asked, "May I get your name?" "Vanessa Hartley." Her eyes widened, and I saw at that flicker of recognition. Her posture straightened. "Yes, Ms. Hartley. One moment. I'll notify the branch manager right away." Back in the lobby, I stood near the window. The clock hit 9:34. That's when Thomas Dillon walked in, regional director, 6-foot confidence in a charcoal suit. He scanned the lobby like a man looking for a fire. When he saw me, he moved fast. "MS. Hartley," he asked. I nodded. "Good morning, Mr. Dillon." His smile was tight. "Can we speak in private?" "No," I said, calm and clear. "We can speak right here." He looked over his shoulder at the staff. "Everyone, please step into the conference room." And just like that, the room changed. Shelby opened her mouth to protest and shut it again. When they were seated, quiet behind the glass, I turned to Thomas. "Get Ellis on the line." He nodded, pulled out his phone. "I'm not here to embarrass anyone," I said quietly. "That's not my leadership style. But if people can't treat strangers with basic decency, they don't belong near clients. Especially not in my bank." Devin finally arrived, half-tucked shirt, confused. He looked from me, to Thomas, to the staff behind glass. "It's handled," I said. He froze, nodded, said nothing. Inside the conference room, I walked in, no raised voice, no dramatics, just presence. "I came today on behalf of Hartley Capital. We finalized this acquisition last Friday. I've visited 12 branches this week. Most were professional. A few were kind. But this branch, I let that hang. I sat in the lobby for over 30 minutes. I was ignored, talked about, dismissed. Not because of who I am, but because you didn't know who I was." I looked at Shelby. "What matters," I said, "is how you treat people when you think they're nobody." She didn't answer. Couldn't. "You served people who arrived after me. You joked about my appearance. You let bias guide your professionalism. And that stops today." I pulled out my phone. Effective immediately, Shelby Langston, Derek Hanley, and Patricia Metz are released from this branch. Final checks will be mailed. Access revoked by noon. Patricia gasped. "Wait, you're firing us?" "Yes," I said. "Because that's how it's always been done," isn't a defense. It's an indictment. I turned to Thomas. "The rest stay. Retraining. Oversight. Full report by Friday." He nodded. As I exited the room, Jasmine, the headset girl, waited outside. "You asked for me," she said. "You recognize my name," I said. "But even if you hadn't, you treated me like I mattered. You ever thought about leadership?" She blinked. "Eventually, yes. You'll hear from Ellis. Don't let anyone train that instinct out of you." She nodded, and I walked out. No speech. No press conference. Just the click of my heels across tile and the weight of reality settling behind me. By the next morning, the branch didn't open at 9. A sign on the door read, "Closed for internal reorganization." Inside, chairs were shuffled. Desks reassigned. Training manuals replaced the gossip. Jasmine sat near the front. Devin, quieter, more alert, listened like it finally mattered. Back at headquarters, Ellis asked, "You sure about keeping Devin?" I didn't look up from my files. He was careless. Not cruel. That's a difference I can work with. He nodded. "You're betting on potential. I'm paying it forward. Someone once bet on mine. And that's the truth, isn't it? The real test isn't how you treat the CEO. It's how you treat the stranger sitting quietly in the lobby, watching who you really are when no one's watching." So let me ask you, have you ever been judged before they knew your name? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever stood your ground in a place you were meant to belong? Let's talk about it, because sometimes the smallest shift in how we treat others sparks the biggest change in a system.